John D. Villarreal, joined by Paula Villarreal by phone. And first of all, I gotta say, Happy New Year, 2025. Whoa, what's that? Happy New Year, 2025. We made it. It's here. Very exciting. We're getting ready for the 47th president of the United States, Trump. Trump was down in Mar-a-Lago. Had so many luminaries there. Elon Musk was there. Elon Musk's mother was there. Melania Trump was dancing in the YMCA. I think the Village People performed. There's a lot of things that happened. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about 2025. We're going to talk about a little bit of a review, a little bit of a look forward. We're going to have all those types of discussions. It's not going to be a long video, though. Unfortunately, Paul, and some other news had happened that broke overnight. Some really tough news that happened in New Orleans and Las Vegas. We've also been discussing, what happened in New York City, and now there's discussion, there's of different things that are happening out there. Elon Musk is talking about stuff. Let me go to President Biden came out today and had a statement. Let's peruse very quickly the Fox News headlines. There's also, I think Elon Musk's mom put something up. There was some clip of the Cybertruck in Vegas. So we'll discuss that and just kind of go over some things here. So here, this is, let's see here. Let me see if I've got this going on. Okay. Fox News headlines. I mean, just top front, headlines, live updates here. President Biden highlights New Orleans suspects. Dark social media posts ahead of the attack. He talks about, what happened in New Orleans. Someone took a truck, and, we're going to be very vague about this stuff because of different platforms and whatnot. You can see, some of the headlines here and whatnot. But there was a terrible incident that happened. At first, I think there was some statements, that then got corrected. Charlie Kirk and others talked about, the flag that was in the back of the truck. And again, I don't want to go back and forth on this. We're going to try to stay as, very high level as possible here. There was different discussion here about what happened and if this was an isolated event and not. And we don't know. We're just trying to digest this information as we go here. Meanwhile, there was a situation in Las Vegas with the Cybertruck, and Elon has been posting about that. We're going to get into that. You see this on and with some very strange headlines out there. A burst into, even here, one day after Tesla burst into flames. Well, Elon had some strong comments on that. And in fact, let me go to this. This was a different angle, Paul. I think Elon's mom posted this, and this was from, and it was a Cybertruck. I believe the Cybertruck and maybe the truck that was used by the person in New Orleans. I think they were rented from some, I don't know. I don't know. So it seems like perhaps, well, I don't even want to speculate. First of all, everything we're saying here is all personal opinion only. We are speculating. We're digesting the news reports that we have at this moment. Okay. And so we're just like everybody else. Right. And so we're trying to put some stuff out there, but Elon had some very strong comments, but basically there was a Cybertruck that was put in front of Trump hotel or something, or a Trump property in Las Vegas. And, so you've seen these things of, burst into flames, stuff like that. Okay. Well, here's another angle of the video. And, you be the judge of what happened here. This is by, excuse me. I apologize. Mrs. May Musk. Okay. And this is Elon Musk's mother, and 1.3 million it's 1.3 million followers. Okay. Right there. And let's just see what I've seen a clip of this before very briefly. I can't remember everything that happens here. Let's play this and see what happens here. Okay, that's after. Whoa. Oh yeah. That was afterwards, but there was definitely some other stuff. Now, Elon has been very heavily posting here. In fact, let me just pull this down here because he's been very heavily posting on this a lot. Paul, your comments here as I pull up some stuff from Elon on this. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I think people are just really kind of shocked today, and by the different incidents that are going on. I think people want to see if there's any connection between, particularly the Vegas incident and the New Orleans incident. We don't know if there is, but I know President Biden mentioned that tonight that the authorities are going to look at that. So that's the other thing is you know most of the time I think people feel, I mean, even though there's been concern with crime, like in maybe urban areas recently, like San Francisco, this type of thing, I think people haven't been focused on like this type of incident, particularly New Orleans. And so I think it kind of got the attention of a lot of people that weren't kind of like just they weren't thinking along these lines.
So here I've got something from Elon Musk pulled up. This was 1 hour ago. Elon Musk, in response to Doge designer, says, "You don't hate the legacy media enough," is what Elon Musk posted. Now, what Doge designer said, and this is all about an hour ago, so we're broadcasting here around close to 11:30 p.m. This has been going on all day on January 1st, New Year's Day. Doge designer says, breaking media headlines are misleading audiences, suggesting the Cybertruck caught fire or exploded due to a malfunction. Again, this is what Doge designer is saying, not what Paul or I are saying. This is we're reacting to this. The truth is that explosives were placed in the back and intentionally detonated, likely as part of blank. And then I'll let you read the rest there. Now, I've seen a clip from some kind of security camera place, and you can see debris flying that way. And you can see headlines here from some different news sources here. Okay. And you can make your own judgment on that. So definitely, Elon was reacting to that. And in fact, a little bit above, he has a thing here, Robbie Starbuck. Honestly, Elon Musk should consider suing outlets about an hour ago who framed the story like this. These headlines are sabotaging Tesla's brand by making people think it caught fire. There's about one Tesla fire every 130 million miles traveled. Other cars have one every 18 million miles. And then you have a headline here from a news source, and Elon Musk says maybe it's time to do so. So, Paul, I mean, this Tesla story, and again, I'm not putting you on the spot. I mean, I don't know what you're prepared to say or not. What do you think of the Tesla story? And we do have sound from President Biden from C-SPAN, public domain, that we're going to play a little bit, not all of it. It's a short statement. What do you make of it? I mean, there's a lot, and there's been a lot of reaction on X all night. There's been stuff about the New York City situation, with the subway situation. I know Bill Ackman's been saying stuff about that. What's your take?
Well, I mean, it's again, like what I said earlier, which is, some people have thought, could there be any connection between the incident in Las Vegas and the incident in New Orleans? Again, we're not saying that there is. Reasons being is that apparently both vehicles were rented or through, I think the app is called Turo. I think that's what it is called. And then in one of the articles I was reading today, I can't remember which one, like some law enforcement official was saying something like, "Yeah, we know yes, people are thinking that, Elon Musk, Cybertruck, Elon Musk is with Trump, Trump Hotel." And so there is speculation here. Yeah, I mean, as far as Elon and Tesla brand, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have to protect the brand. And if this had nothing to do with the vehicle itself and it was external factors like, something put in the car, then that should be mentioned in these reports. And if it's not being mentioned or it's being insinuated that it was the Tesla's fault, well, then, yeah, I mean, I can understand why he and other people would be unhappy about that.
Now, a couple things here. Elon just posted this recently, And it's law enforcement officials are claiming, this is from, I don't know what this is or whatever. Again, I'm just reading what's on, Elon Musk reposted. Law enforcement officials are claiming that because the suspect used a Tesla Cybertruck in their blank earlier today against the Trump Hotel and Casino on Las Vegas Strip, which has 1.4 millimeter body panels and 1.8 millimeter door panels, that the blank only caused minimal damage. So people are saying because of how, that the strength of these vehicles, and we've seen different videos of people, testing out the resistance and the strength of the Cybertrucks and doing things like that. So, and Elon Musk himself, I think has shown how strong these things are before, in my opinion. And so, yeah, so now there's also here, Libs of TikTok has posted, and Elon Musk reposted criticism of New York Governor Kathy Hochul. And what Libs of TikTok said here, and this is from New Year's Eve, is that Kathy Hochul just told us last week that the subway is safe. Since then, you can see some information here that there's been, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different incidents. And it ends with Kathy Hochul needs to resign. So there's a lot of people in the New York City area, Manhattan, stuff like that, Bill Ackman and others, in my opinion, that are reacting to that. So there's been a lot of news that's been going on. And I'll try to find some of those reactions here, Paul, but this definitely has been a lot of stuff happening here. What's your take on what's going on?
Well, look, as I said, I think that there's a renewed sense of concern about issues of crime. Other issues, more extensive things like New Orleans, and it definitely goes to one of the themes that that President Trump mentioned during his campaign, which is, look, first there was all the controversy about what the actual crime statistics were or were not. But like I said, I think that what is happening right now, and with the focus, including on the awful things that have been going on in the New York subway, there's a new examination about issues around things like crime, and I think that's I think it kind of proves the point of what President Trump had said.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely some things going on out there, and I'm just trying. There's so much information here that I'm just trying to absorb it all. And I know, Charlie Kirk has had some stuff. Let me see if I can find some of that here. But at the same time, we're also looking forward. And a lot of people are saying, hey, we need to approve President Trump's nominees. There's some people online are doing sort of a countdown days wise until Trump gets into office. There's a lot of things out there right now. And so about that, and now we also will play a little bit of President Biden's clip here from C-SPAN, just a little bit. And it's definitely it's a crazy day, right? Because here's a time where a lot of people have the day off. Maybe you're celebrating with your family, you're relaxing, you're trying to maybe watching football, some of the bowl games, some different things like that. And it's pretty crazy. Here is to your point, Charlie Kirk did put this up earlier about the app. So Charlie Kirk 6 hours ago. Wow, both the New Orleans, and again, we're going off of what he's saying. We're not alleging anything here. This is just what's been stated here. Charlie Kirk 6 hours ago. Charlie Kirk, who is the founder and CEO of Turning Point USA, Turning Point Action, 4.3 million followers on X, and host of the Charlie Kirk Show. Wild. Both the New Orleans pickup truck and the Cybertruck that exploded in front of the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas were rented using the Turo app. And then he has some things here. And then I think there's a statement below that says officials will not confirm the identity of the driver of the Cybertruck. etc. So, who knows? I have no idea. And listen, I mean, a lot of these times these things unfold. And that's part of the reason why we waited a bit to come on air, because you have to. And listen, I'll also remark to Sean Hannity. I think one of the better takes and reactions that he has is, he remembers the incident. I think he said he was in Atlanta. I can't remember exactly. Maybe doing radio at the time of the whole Richard Jewell incident, many, many years ago. I think it was 1996 or something like that. And he's like, look, or if you look at what happened with Duke Lacrosse, and there's been so many other incidents where things may look one way at one point, may look another way down the road, and you have to take a pause and and just see, make sure you have the right information here. And again, so anyway, now Elon did put this out here earlier, and I will go to this. This is on Charlie Kirk did repost this. Elon did say that Elon was very much on top of this 7 hours ago. The whole Tesla senior team is investigating this matter right now. We'll post more information as soon as we learn everything. We've never seen anything like this. Okay, that's 7 hours ago. And so obviously this is a business matter, a matter of profound importance to Tesla and the Tesla brand, in my opinion. And okay, hold on. Now, sorry, let me put that back up, because then Elon did repost. One second here. I kind of read the sub thing here. Charlie Kirk reposted. Then 6 hours after that, so 1 hour after that, Elon Musk, we have now, and I'm going to have to remove a couple words here. We have now confirmed that the blank was caused by a very large blank and/or blank carried in the bed of the rented Cybertruck and is unrelated to the vehicle itself. All vehicle telemetry was positive at the time of the blank. So there you go. That's a statement from Elon Musk on the Cybertruck, Paul. And you could see where he was on top of this. And here's the CEO, here's the richest person in the world, obviously working on New Year's. This is definitely a from a PR standpoint, crisis response type of situation. Very, very crazy situation. And let's go real quick to President Biden's statement on this is on C-SPAN, and we'll just use just a little bit of this public domain, obviously. Okay, wait 1 second here. Well, that's the opening thing. I'm using the wrong thing here. Let's get out of here. 1 second. Yeah, let's go here. Okay, President Biden. Hold on 1 second. I'll pull that back. Excuse me. I had it set, and then we'll come back to that here in a second, about 15 minutes. 15 seconds. Sorry. Excuse me. All right, here we go. And we're going to catch it in as it's playing. And yes, here we go.
Families of those who are killed, to all those who are injured, to all the people of New Orleans who are grieving today, I want you to know I grieve with you. Our nation grieves with you. We're going to stand with you as you mourn and as you heal in the weeks to come. I want to thank our brave first responders and law enforcement personnel who stopped the attacker.
So, okay, and then let's just go forward here a little bit and just catch the end of this. Let's go right here.
This person committed a terrible assault on the city. The spirit of our New Orleans will never, never, never be defeated. It always will shine forth. We've seen that time and time again throughout its history, and I know we'll see it again in the days and weeks ahead. May God bless the people of New Orleans. May God bless our police and our first responders. May God protect our troops.
Okay, Paul, your comments on President Biden and the statement there and the response on New Year's.
Look, we didn't play the whole statement. He said in there that authorities are going to look to see if there's a link between the Las Vegas incident and the New Orleans incident. So I know he said that. He also said that the suspect in New Orleans, Jabbar, he said that Jabbar had recently put up videos on social media expressing support of being inspired by ISIS. And so now that's more new information. And he basically said that Well, no, actually, he did not say, but there's other information out there saying that authorities are looking at other recent videos he had put up to see if they can find more information. So, even though Biden didn't talk for that long, he did, I thought, say a couple important things in those things.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it was, it was good of the president to come out today, respond to it. Definitely a lot of people reacting to this very strongly. And you can understand that. You can definitely understand that. And, I did have some stuff here about that. Now, I will say in the larger scheme of things, you're seeing a lot of people that maybe were former Democrats, I'm talking years ago, critics of Trump, whatever. Again, not all of them, whatever, but yeah, here we go. So, and I think that people are rethinking some things. So I think, like, if we go here, you saw a headline from Fox News. I didn't even read the story, but you have, I remember at the big dinner in New York, James Gaffigan, who is a big comedian. Jim Gaffigan admits he has regret about his old anti-Trump posts. So I think people are definitely changing their tunes. Okay, Gaffigan adds that this is Trump, a headline, Fox News, Gabrielle Hayes at 4:30 p.m. Comedian Jim Gaffigan regrets Trump supporters thinking he was attacking them. They, quote, will never forgive me, unquote. Gaffigan adds he doesn't take back criticism of Trump. You're going to lose people in stand-up. Okay, and comedy is comedy, and stand-up is stand-up. And they were, talking about the Al Smith dinner, and Gaffigan had some comments there and stuff like that. So again, I didn't read all the way through this here, but I think there's definitely some discussions back and forth. But in part of that, you have Pershing Square CEO Bill Ackman, a great business leader, and definitely, Harvard undergrad, Harvard Business School graduate, I believe, billionaire, legendary dude, a big name on X, big name in the Manhattan circles and beyond, not globally, but definitely in that. I would say, Connecticut, Harvard, Manhattan, DC, but definitely the NYC, scene, in my opinion. And he has posted some things here a lot today, 11 hours ago, or no, I don't know when he reposted this, but this other, and again, I don't know all these different handles and sites and whoever, but reposted someone that said, this did not age well. CNN, Trump's claim blank are pouring over the southern border does not stand up to scrutiny. Now, again, there's been evolving stories on this. So, there's that. I think I have to call Paul back here in a second. I think we lost him. So 1 second on that. He'll probably hit me up here in a second. But yeah, I think that there's definitely been some. Yes. You there? Okay. You there? Yeah, I don't know. Let me try to reconnect you here. 1 second. Okay, does that work? Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
There we go. Perfect. No problem. Okay. So, what I was saying, Paul, was that Bill Ackman and others have been sort of I'm not putting him on this. I'm just one example, that someone that comes up in my news feed, but we're seeing a lot of people that maybe a couple of years ago or 5 years ago or 5 months ago, depending on who we're talking about, may have had a different, have evolved. I think things have really changed. I think people are understanding now that, listen, the world's pretty difficult, and it's not, and we see this here. And so, like, for example, Bill Ackman 2 hours ago, and I'm not this is just someone I've had pulled up right here, not to overly focus on Bill. Someone said, AP, today, I got to edit this. Today, 10 people were blanked in New Orleans. Yesterday, someone was shoved onto a subway track for no reason at all. Last week, a woman was blank just because. Before that, people's, and it goes on. And Bill Ackman retweets, about 2 hours ago, saying so true. So I think that people are really having a different take on this. And the reality of it is that, government's number one, well, one of the top jobs of government, if not the top job. I mean, we can, I haven't really sat and thought about it, but certainly one of the top jobs, if not the top jobs, is to keep the citizens safe. That's probably number one, you know what I mean? Or extremely close, if not number one. But that probably is number one, and we are seeing some less than perfect situations on that potentially, in my opinion. And it's getting to a point, not unlike the situation in California with the, shoplifting and stuff like that. And the other, crime, it just got to the point where people were saying enough of this. And the people were like, put in, I think, just reacted to it, and things had to change out over there. And so, you see, even in liberal areas where it's just gone too far, and I think that people have had enough of that. Would you agree with that, Paul?
Yeah, I do agree with that. And we're starting to see some of the more progressive DAs being replaced, as in LA, I believe. And yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And just rethinking the philosophy. I know Jordan Peterson pointed this out the other day on Fox. Rethinking the philosophy of the people that are committing some of these acts, like the shoplifters or whatever, they're misunderstood, or they're really the victims, and all this type of thing. Like, it's hard to, I think what he was saying is that it's difficult to want to have a society like that. And so I think it's, you're starting to see people turn away from that a bit.
Yeah, to that point, and I just pulled something up. Molly Hemingway had some comments here. She's been, posting a lot of different things here. I have to try to find. I'm trying to find something that she posted. Yeah, she had some strong comments. And I'll let them stand on their own here. But she did say some stuff. Okay. Molly Hemingway, who is the editor-in-chief of The Federalist, senior journalism fellow at Hillsdale, Fox News contributor, a very smart woman. Molly's great. I really like Molly. 1.3 million followers. And she says, this 5 hours ago, like you, I'm thrilled that instead of going after blank, moving freely in the United States, every single person in the blank was instead maniacally obsessed, all caps, with going after pro-lifers, Catholics, parents, Trump supporters, excellent decision leaders. And, they are, she's really has some sharp comments. Now, I think she also retweeted Nicole Shanahan, who was the vice presidential pick for RFK Jr. Okay. And, Nicole Shanahan, I would say, was, certainly left of Trump and stuff like that for quite some time now, because Nicole has been a big supporter and has someone that has, recently joined the, I don't know, certainly in the Maha movement, maybe MAGA. I don't know how you want to, a Trump supporter. How about that? Like a lot of Silicon Valley, maybe like Elon and some others. Now, what she posted 2 hours ago that Molly reposted, Nicole Shanahan, who is on the Echo Healthy Planet, she's like, I think, some AI expert, a billionaire, big name in Silicon Valley, and has done a lot of stuff. She posted, about like, that, quote, my heart aches for the innocent victims of these horrific, senseless attacks in New Orleans and Las Vegas. The videos from Bourbon Street are particularly harrowing. And this is the key pull quote right here. Well, I mean, all of it, obviously, but here's the key quote. This isn't the America we know. That right there, Paul, I think sums up so much of the sentiment. Would you not agree?
Yeah, I think that's how a lot of people feel. And I think there's a general sense that things have kind of going down the wrong road for a number of years. And I think a lot of people are hoping that President Trump, when he comes back into office, would start correcting that. And I think these recent incidences are reminding people that's what they want. And that's maybe part of the reason why they voted the way they did in November.
Now, again, I'm just putting this up to show you what's out there, and I'm going to be very careful with it. And Jimmy Failure is a comedian, and he's saying, at this point, I have more faith in the guys wearing FBI hats that say female bikini inspector. So a lot of people are, I think, and let me take this down because I don't want to get into anything else. But and I'm not criticizing. I'm just trying to focus my show on the high level stuff. So I have no comment one way or the other. But I want to focus. I'm trying to focus a very high level at what I can't control what everyone else posts, and that's what I'm saying. So it's no comment one way or the other. But I think what it is when you sum it all up, Paul, in my opinion, is there's a lot of people. This gives. Give me a second. Let me think how I want to say this. I think that a lot of things that President Trump was saying before, I think that President Trump's cabinet picks, I think, are being, people are taking a second thought of that being reframed. I think people understand that we need, we need leadership and we need security. We need leadership and we need freedom. And there's always that balance between freedom and security. But again, it's and we talked about this before, in the election, and you said this and others have said this, but that, Kamala Harris is kind of a quote unquote, a voting for, I don't want to missay this. You could, let me forget that. Let me stop. Let me, because I don't want to. Let me reset that. A lot of the woke and liberal policies may sound great when everything's totally cool, when the economy's crushing. And so this is a totally separate thought. Forget about that old stuff. We're revising Senate. A lot of the woke and liberal policies may sound great in an environment where everything's great, economy's great, you've got safety and security and stuff like that. When the blank hits the blank, right, and things are getting tough, all of a sudden it looks a little bit different. People don't, want some, for lack of a better word, an outreach program or whatever when it comes to pilots when you're on a plane. We've seen some incidents with planes recently, quite frankly. And that's a little scary. We've seen some incidents with planes. Yes, it's a safe way. It's one of the safest ways to travel, maybe even the safest way to travel in terms of incidents per mile. But it's not perfect, like anything else. And when you're up in the air, 30,000 feet or 39,000 feet, and you're going 600 miles an hour, you want to land safely. Absolutely. And in that context, when you have these incidents, this is shocking to the conscience. And people are like, well, you know what? We need to have safety and security here. And, again, you go over the libs of TikTok, you go over what's going on in New York. I mean, there's been incidents after incidents here. It's been a lot of different incidents happening. And now I don't think that Governor Hochul can, it's just, there's going to be some discussion now. There's people looking at this. And so this is something that people are not comfortable with. And you're seeing, whether it's here, Canada, Europe, around the globe, people are like, they want to see different leadership. They want to see people that are going to respond to this. And I think just that, if you, like you said, there's only so much you can focus on. If you're focusing over at A, you're not focusing on B. And there's finite resources for all these institutions and stuff like that. And I think that it's given a different look to all of this stuff, in my opinion. I don't want to overread it, but you could just see it on X, and there's just so much to go through. And there's a lot of stuff I don't want to pull in here and stuff. And again, I can't be responsible for what everyone's posting. But I think that the tone and the tenor and the temperature has changed today, Paul, because I think that this just kind of, feels different to people, or it's just gotten to a point where it's too much. I don't know if I'm if I'm characterizing this right. Do you agree with me, or do you think that I'm reading too much into this?
No, I agree with that. Now, like I said, it's what you said a couple of moments ago, which is some of the more left-wing philosophies sound good when things are good. Now, when you get moments like this, they don't sound very good. And I think that these couple of days with these difficulties, I think that's just kind of reminding people, that's not really what we are looking for. And again, I think that was a big reason why people voted the way that they did. Because sure, Trump during the election focused very heavily on the border, but tied with the border were issues related to crime. And the way that he presented it, it was tied very very closely
Sure.
tied. And so now we're seeing these different incidents, these different things happening, and it's like don't suddenly people feel less safe. In fact, when I watched the press conference today from New Orleans, just where they updated things, everybody was there, like Senator John Kennedy,
Yes.
Governor Jeff Landry,
Yes.
the mayor of New Orleans. Everybody was there. At the very end of the press conference, Landry was saying, because of course they're supposed to play a college football game in the city, basically was trying to convince people, look, just in case anybody thinks that it's not safe to go to the game, which they had to postpone for 24 hours, I'm telling you, I'm going to the game. And so you can feel safe. In other words, people feel very insecure right now.
Yeah.
And I think they don't just feel insecure in New Orleans, they feel insecure all around the country. And that's what this type of thing makes you feel. And that's what I do think that's happening.
Sorry about that. We've got this Kayleigh McEnany, former press secretary for President Trump, now Fox News host, headline 2 hours ago, or post on X. I quote, I can't wait to get confirmed Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense, Kash Patel at the FBI, and Tulsi Gabbard at ODNI. This probably was a guest here, Corey Mills, Florida. That's going to clean up a lot of this mess, because I can tell you that this is absolutely blank. And so a lot of people are having this reaction. Now, you've been covering, as you said here, you can see Paul on X, who's got 23.1 thousand followers. And, you've been covering this whole situation a lot today. Kind of walk me through the coverage of some of the things that you were talking about today.
Yeah. So what I was talking about today was, we started out with Fox reporting, and they actually had to, this turned out to not be the case. So they reported about when the truck that was used in New Orleans incident came across the border, the southern border, which it did. But they had reported originally that it came across a couple of days ago. That's not accurate. It came across in November, so a month or more ago, month and a half. So I was talking about that. That's of course drew a lot of attention, because then people started to think, is this an individual from this country? Which of course he turned out to be. And then we were going into different things like, hey, now that the authorities think that there might be multiple suspects involved in this. And then they started later on, like with President Biden, and before he spoke, they were talking about, is there a connection potentially to the Las Vegas incident as well, from the New Orleans incident? So we were going through things like this. We, of course, discussed the thing about the game being moved. We went over the press conference that was held, I mentioned a few minutes ago. Those types of things. Different people weighing in on those things, but I mostly was focused today on just like the news coverage of it, rather than analysis or opinion about it. So people were gripped by this. This was, between this and the Las Vegas thing, for sure. But I would say that the New Orleans matter dominated everything today. It was clearly what people were interested in.
When I think sorry about that. I think the combination of, what's been going on in New York with the poor woman in the subway, this gentleman that just got
Yeah.
pushed in the subway. You could say October 7th. There's been, Tren de Agua. I mean, there's been so many, different incidents that have happened. Lake and Riley, I hope I'm getting that name right. I apologize if I'm not.
Yeah.
There's
right.
just been a lot of incidents, and not just here,
Yeah.
but globally. And people have kind of had enough, and it's kind of like people are ready to turn the page. And then this happened. Now here, Senator Mike Lee, U.S. Senator from Utah, has said, and this is his statement 6 hours ago, how much do you trust the FBI? ? That's a U.S. Senator, okay? Molly Hemingway, I need a negative calculation. Then another senator from Louisiana, as you mentioned, Senator John Kennedy, okay, official U.S. Senator, this is the official account, U.S. Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana, okay, at Senator John Kennedy, quote, I don't want to hear from anybody in the federal government saying they don't have the resources. They need to saddle up and ride. We need to find out what happened in New Orleans. It's not going to be covered up. Now, again, that's another U.S. senator. So this story has evolved, and we need to see how it goes and get to the bottom of it. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of discussions going on out there.
Yeah.
And this is a very serious situation, not the way that a lot of people wanted to think about their New Year's Eve. And again, our hearts and prayers go out to thoughts and prayers and hearts that go out to the people affected. And it's just, and these terrible situations. And here we go. Charlie Kirk says what maybe a lot of people are feeling again on X 11 hours ago. January 20th can't come fast enough. Stay alert. 37,000 people like that. So, I don't want to be politicize this. Maybe that's, people know where we're coming from and everything like that. In general, everyone's got their own perspective, biases, point of view, whatever you want to say about it. But I think that at a fundamental level, government is supposed to keep you safe and has to execute and has to exhibit, maybe that's a better word. Let me revise and extend. Exhibit a basic, a certain level of competency. And I'm not alleging anything, but Charlie Kirk's sentiment, I think, is shared by a lot of people, and maybe shared by a lot of people that wouldn't normally be MAGA or Trump supporters, Paul. That's what I'm saying. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Like I said, going back to the Jordan Peterson thing that I mentioned earlier, it's just people, if you are going to take the approach that you are not going to charge certain crimes, or you're going to have a $1,000 starting point for shoplifting before you take it seriously, these type of things, you understand you're encouraging more problems, in my opinion. In other words, you're basically saying you're going to tolerate more things happening. And so I think what people are starting to come to now, and this is what Charlie Kirk, in my opinion, is speaking to, which is, I think maybe it's time that we reassess our outlook on all of this, and maybe go back to a thing where, let's prosecute more crimes. Let's stop trying to, let's treat victims as victims rather than people committing some crimes as victims. And then, so I think, like I said, I think that's the sentiment about can't wait for January 20 is, I think it's time to reassess the way that we approach all of this. And so I do think that there is a kind of collective feeling of being fed up with a lot of this. And so what's happening these last few days, I think, is making that feeling stronger.
Now let's wind down here. We've got, President Trump and Melania here partying in New Year's Eve. And Melania was dancing to YMCA, as was Elon Musk. And we've seen the Trump moves. But what about Melania has her own way of dancing to YMCA? And then you've got the Trump fist situation over there, into the Trump dance, and you've got Elon. He's doing his thing, and it was going off on Mar-a-Lago last night. Okay, and so very interesting people. So we're in 2025 now. Elon is back with Trump. The bromance continues, if you will. There was a little bit of a kerfuffle over the H-1B things, a little bit like that, but I think that they're very much aligned now. Trump came out with a statement that kind of supported, or certainly didn't trash Elon in his position and stuff like that, in my opinion. 2025, new year, Trump's about to get in office. What are we seeing going forward? What's the level of optimism? Obviously, this day has, in the news and the events, have totally, and rightfully so, dominated the news cycle and maybe changed the psyche a little bit. But what are you seeing going forward with 2025? What does it look like politically? What does it look like market-wise, in your opinion?
As far as the markets, I'm not sure exactly where things stand right now. I think that overall the markets are generally bullish when Trump is in office, because he has pro-business policies in general. But in terms of politically and such, look, again, we've got 3 weeks until Trump is back in office. I think he's going to be able to fill that time pretty well. Next Thursday, on the 9th, of course, is the funeral for President Carter, which Trump is going to be attending. And then he's going to be holding, I believe, his first inauguration kind of event party type thing on the 18th. On the 19th, he's going to be doing a victory rally in D.C. So there's really not that much, I think the time will go quickly. And of course, in the meantime, I believe they'll start to be working on hearings for the nominees. So in terms of confidence level and so on and so forth, the main things right now is just getting things done. So on Friday, you've got to pick your speaker. Hopefully it will take one day. And then on the 6th, you certify the election. And of course, on the 20th, Trump comes in office. And then it's about get your nominees in place as fast as you can. President Trump said that he's concerned that the Democrats in the Senate might use some stall tactics. And he's encouraging Republicans to, push beyond that. So I think it's just, get the nominees in place. I think that then they'll start working on kind of their large immigration program. And I think you can get those couple things kind of handled pretty well. I think it's off to the races. I think then it's things will be in very good shape for Trump and his allies.
Well, I also want to talk about this right here. We've got sports stuff. Obviously, bowl games were today. You have Texas that beat ASU in a double overtime, really exciting game there. Okay. And OSU, Ohio State, beats Oregon, number 1 ranked Oregon. Oregon, maybe has some issues, struggling, in my opinion, potentially in bowl games, but OSU beats them 41-21. That was a big rout. So that was big sports news that happened today. So a lot of different things that are going on. We're in a new year. We're going to see what happens. We have different things that we're going to talk about, and announcements, stuff like that. Today's not the day for that. But stay tuned. Stay tuned, because we have some different things we're going to be talking about, different things that we're going to be bringing to you. Sort of I don't want to say a pivot. It's going to be a brand evolution. Some different. But we're really getting back to first principles in a lot of ways, and so different things that are happening there. We're going to see what's going on. I think a lot of people are ready for 2025. I think a lot of people are ready for January, the inauguration of President Trump. And I think that, we're going to see some different things happen. There's been some exciting business things, some exciting technology things. So we'll see what happens. So yeah, that's what we have for today. We wanted to discuss that. Again, thoughts and prayers and hearts go out to everyone affected. Again, we're looking forward to Trump 47. We're looking forward to some of the business stuff here. We have some announcements that we're going to make. Again, this show's not the time for it, and that's it. So yeah, so that's what I want to say. Any final comments, Paul?
Yeah, look, like I said, definitely looking forward to the new year and for the new administration to see how things are going to go.
There you go. So yeah, that's what we want to say right there. So thanks so much for watching. For Paul, I am John. Thanks so much. We will see you next time.